Cure in the imminent to be here on MTV's 120 Minutes. Andy Partridge of XTC. You've been around actually since before The Cure, 73 you first started playing?
Absolutely. Can you hear me over these kids being dismembered down here? Can you turn that chainsaw down to a mild... where was I? We were discussing lard or something, were we?
We were, and right before that we were discussing the Helium Kids.
The Cure, great. I'm saving up to have my lips cut off, just like Robert. Oh, lovely. Oh, crikey. We've been going since 1873, actually. Yeah, we were the Helium Kids before this. But, please forgive us. We'll be good.
What do you think of some of your early compatriots, such as The Cure, and how do you think they've evolved? And do you see any kind of pattern between the way they've turned out and you guys?
Difficult to say, because I don't like pop music. I don't listen to it, and the only pop music I listen to is the stuff that we make while we're making it. I don't even listen to it while we've made it. You get rid of the feces and it goes. It's for other people to mess around with your turds later.
What is your music of choice then, like in the jazz or classical vein?
Actually, over the last year, to be totally honest, and I don't understand why and I don't understand anything about it, but all I've bought is what you'd call early music, like late medieval, early Renaissance kind of stuff. And I don't know who composes this. Who composes this? I don't know who composes, who sings, who'd make records of it now, for what reason, and I don't understand, but I go in the record shop, hey, early music, yeah, that's for me. So it fills me with air. It's great.
Wow, okay. Here's a new video that might or might not fill Andy with air.
Methane. It'll fill you with methane, this one.
This is The Breeders with Safari. McCulloch shot in Spain, where Depeche Mode shot Personal Jesus, and where they used to shoot a lot of spaghetti westerns. Okay, interview with Andy Partridge of XTC becomes stream of consciousness. Spaghetti.
Oh, hell, I've gone backwards. Hang on.
Coming up on MTV's 120 Minutes, a video from XTC, the latest, The Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead.
And a trope, folks. The flicker book of the novel of the ironing board cover.
Exactly. And a brand new one from The Cure. Stick around.
120 Minutes.
Attention Cure fans, 2 lucky winners, each with a guest, will see and hang out with The Cure anywhere on their current world tour, and they'll get 2 nights hotel, airfare and backstage passes thrown in. Just send your name, address, age and daytime phone number, along with where you want to see The Cure and why you want to see them there, to MTV's Wish You Could Be There Cure contest, P.O. Box 1211, Radio City Station, New York, 10101.
Your issues. His answers. An MTV Choose or Lose special, Facing the Future with Bill Clinton, Tuesday at 10 on MTV.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch Scrunches.
Check out the scrunchious new Nestle Crunch NBA World Champions bars. With 12 different bars, you just may find your favorite champions. So, give it a shot. Slammin'.
Michael, is everything all right?
Somebody in the house. Call the police.
What?
Call the police.
They called a cop.
I'm gonna make sure that your block's patrolled all night long.
Now, they can't get rid of him.
Well, I got a cop who wants me out of the way because he wants my wife.
I know I shouldn't be here.
How do I get a cop off my back? You listen to me. You stay away from her.
Michael!
Stay here and lock the door.
Unlawful entry. Rated R. Special sneak preview Saturday night. Check newspapers.
Introducing the epic challenge that only the Super Nintendo Entertainment System could make possible. Across endless land and water, you search. Deep into a parallel world where light becomes dark, you search. And just when you think your search has ended, you find it's just begun. The new Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Now you're playing with power.
Parker decided to premiere Reebok's new preseason shoes. We took them out for a spin, for a drive, and for a fly. We found the extra traction sole was perfect for short stops, fast starts, even hugging curves. So head to Foot Locker and shift into pre-season at record speed, because before you know it, the season will be upon you. Reebok's new pre-season shoes premiering at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Sprite with Lyman. A little more fun than what you're used to.
I like Sprite in you. Who wants Trident?
I do.
I do.
Cinnamon freshman.
I do.
I do. Who wants Trident?
I do. I do. I do.
Good for your teeth. Great taste too.
Who wants Trident?
I do.
20-minute Horizon videos from the Levelers, Juliana Hatfield, and a brand new one from The Cure. Andy Partridge from XTC is my co-host on 120 Minutes tonight.
Sun. Look, I'm not used to all this sun nonsense. I'm a kind of a fog worshipper. I like to lay out in the hail and, bask in sleet and stuff.
Which is why you decided to be born in England, I take it.
I'm totally British to the core. I'm sweating so much. If I had a soap on a rope, I'd really be clean by the end of this interview.
It's been 10 years, Andy, since XTC have been on tour.
And you never wrote. Oh, you bitch.
I'm sorry. A lot of people are wondering, are you ever going to go out on tour? I mean, what do we have to do to persuade you?
The weird thing is, I'd like to flip that around and say, why the hell do you need us on tour? What's the big thing where you have to be part of that kind of stupid circus thing? Why do you have to... what do I do with my carcass that's brilliant that anyone would want to see? You can go in a record shop and buy a slice of my soul. Why do you want to see my pork wobbling around in front of you?
Because it's more intense, the whole atmosphere of your band, yourself, and your record, coming together, enjoying the experience with other people.
Oh, come on. You're up on stage masturbating, the audience is down there masturbating. There's no love to be had, it's just a circus. Sorry. What I do that's real and what I do that's good is write songs and make records, but live, forget it.
So that's a definite no.
It's a definite maybe no, as they say in record companies everywhere.
Well, thanks for teasing us. Here's a brand new video from Wire Train. This is Stone Me. Everybody Loves Me But You from Juliana Hatfield, during the watching of which I asked Mr. Andy Partridge of XTC to remove his plastic cup so as not to interfere with this idyllic nature scene, and Andy came up with a very good point.
Environmentally crap. Do you realise that this cup is going to be here for 1 million years, longer than any of the stuff you can see around you? That's a little scary.
What did you think of the recent Earth Summit in Rio? Do you think it's the kind of thing that we need to do more of, or?
Oh, sure. You have your leg cut off and you put a Band-Aid on it. Really useful. I mean, what a cosmetic... What a waste of time. It seems kind of obvious, like the big problems nobody wants to address. Cars are messing the world up. 80-90% of the world's filth comes from cars, and nobody wants to do anything about it because everyone owns a car, and I'm not going to say anything because I've got a car, and I'm not going to... People have to look at themselves. They're the problem. It's not him next door, it's the problem. They're the problem. I'm the problem. You're the problem. It has to be, you have to look in the mirror.
Well spoken. Coming up on MTV's 120 Minutes, the latest video from XTC, the Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead, and a brand new one from The Cure. Stick around.
120.
Welcome back to MTV's 120 Minutes. We are just 5 minutes away from a brand new version of The Cure's Friday, I'm in Love.
Boy, are we excited about that.
Sunday we're in the park, and Andy Partridge of XTC is actually going to take us to one of his favourite toy stores here in Manhattan.
Yes, oh, what a tease. You come all this way, I'm fresh out of money, and they take me to this kind of filth porn sex palace of old toys, so it's a real tease. That's going to put a little wet spot on my trousers when we go in there.
Send your donations, please, too. Before we get to that, we're going to take a look at the XTC video, The Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead.
A little thing we knocked up, we chiseled earlier.
And Andy, did you originally decide, okay, I'm going to write a song about a mythical Jesus JFK type figure, or were you staring at this jack-o'-lantern?
Jesus Jones figure, didn't you? You can tell what he does for a living.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, Freudian slip showing. No, I didn't. I felt sorry for this jack-o'-lantern I carved for the kids, and I couldn't bear to put him in the bin. So I stuck him on a post in the garden so I could see him every day. He looked really, really great, nicer than most people I know. And his poor thing started decomposing, giving all this grey ooze out of his mouth, and his eyes are getting all green and furry. And I thought, I'll immortalize him. So I started to write a song about a perfect thing with a pumpkin head. And if you're perfect, you tell the truth. And if you tell the truth, you have power. And he got so much power, the government had him bumped off. So it's a lesson not to tell the truth.
Here's the video. XTC with the Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead. Of Peter Pumpkinhead from XTC. Andy Partridge, did you see the movie JFK before you wrote that song?
No, Your Honour, I did not see the movie JFK. I still haven't seen it. In fact, I didn't even particularly know it was in existence when we started the thing up. And everyone says, it's JFK. Mm-hmm. And so I must see it. But he's only one interpretation. I mean, all sorts of people have said, Peter Pumpkinhead, it's Jesus Christ, it's JFK, it's John Lennon, isn't it? It's Joan of Arc, isn't it, Andy? We know it's about the Pope because the pumpkin head is the headwear, right? You're allowed to read whatever martyr you want to read into it. So it's an all martyr. It's a Tor Martyr song.
Did you have much input into the shooting of the video? Were they some of your ideas?
Yeah, it was literally the only video that we've done to date where we were actually taken into consideration. There seems to be a big thing. I've got my serious head on now. There seems to be a big thing in our history, certainly. I'm sure in a lot of other bands' history, where if they want input in video, they find that they've ended up funding some filmmaker's concept that maybe is not anything to do with what they wanted. It's a strange industry. You think you're being listened to, and then the door shuts down and you find you're just funding this person's step up to making a feature film or something. Well, I'm not too crazy on videos in the first place. And if you really want to enjoy MTV, you reach over to your contrast control, turn it right down so the screen goes black, and all the music should sound that much better.
Thanks for the advice, Andy. We're going to be talking more with Andy Partridge of XTC in the second. TV's 120 minutes. Stick around for videos from Lush, KMFDM, and brand new ones from Peter Murphy and Swans. My co-host on 120 Minutes tonight, Mr. Andy Partridge from XTC. In one of his most favourite places in the entire world, right?
Yeah. Actually, I've got all weak at the knees. It's not his presence. It's the presence of these little, ultimately smaller individuals over here. Look at all this stuff. This is just, this is porn, filth, thing, toy, heaven sex for me. Look, this stuff's better than sex, so don't you feel sorry for my wife? Look at it. Look at these tiny little people with their... Look at the pimples on that one. I'm speechless. It's speechless and difficult because I'll put my serious head on for a second. In the position of elder rock statesman, British Parliament, blah, blah, that I seem to have dug for myself here, it's tricky to have my kind of music head on and be in a place like this, which is a really other big love of my life, because it's like, being a connoisseur of ice cream is one thing, and then being a connoisseur of pork is another, and you put them on the same plate, and you're not sure whether it's going to happen as a taste sensation.
What you're saying is you get mighty passionate about the kind of toys we see here in Burlington Antique Toys.
So I'm really tempted just to sort of turn my back on you now, open the cabinets, and sort of rub my face in all these little figures.
You have a collection of these at home back in Swindon, right?
Yeah, many thousands, causing structural damage to my attic even now.
All right, well, we're going to leave Andy here in toy heaven for a few minutes while we check out a brand new video from Spiritualize. This band features 3 former members of Spacemen 3, and their brand new video is Run. These 120 minutes, and stick around for videos from Lush, KMFDM, and a brand new one from Swans. I'm being...
Come up. Look at that.
Andy Partridge of XTC, can you explain to a culture-free Neanderthal like myself what's exciting about this figure?
Okay, I'll just adjust your brow there, make you slightly less Neanderthal. This is for me. This is great. This is a figure I really like. Can you see him there? Actually, it looks a little bit like my dad now I've taken the place. Daddy, it is you! This is made by a company called Joe Hilco, and it's one of the, if not the nicest figure they did. It's called something like Sailor on Guard, as you can see. And he's so staunch and reliable, but Go on.
What time period is he from?
I think the original was probably made in was the expert, the 30s, 40s?
Probably was the World War I sailor, but big production was the 30s.
Right, okay.
A World War I sailor.
So there you go. I mean, just the way everything, the way the bandoliers fall on the chest and the kind of the whole pigeon-chested sort of stiff upper nasal cavity of the thing. You know, he's lovely. Look at that. Isn't that better than all these people pretending to be, you know, with their wah-wahs and flares and stuff? You know.
If you could figure out a way to make your living from this, you would probably chuck this whole rock thing in the garbage can.
Don't tempt me. I mean, this is the only heavy metal worth considering, in my opinion.
Well, just going back towards the rock thing briefly, your latest album is called None Such, which means actually without equal. Is that the...
Yes, I have to confess, it was a mistake I made. I found this great picture of this palace that Henry VIII had instigated. He had a marvellous palace built in the early 1500s called Nonsuch, and I found this great picture of it. I thought, that's beautiful. And I thought the word nonsuch meant doesn't exist. And I thought, how sad calling a palace doesn't exist palace, and now it doesn't exist, you know, and it was just the most architecturally beautiful, perfect thing. We started to get the album together, and then I looked up in a dictionary, and I found it meant without equal. So it's turned into sounding like a really boastful thing, but me? Oh, no, it's... so I didn't mean to say, Your Majesty, we were without equal. But it's a nice poignancy to think that no matter how high you think your art is, that's art with a capital F, by the way, that someday it's all going to cease to exist in any case. And isn't it better to play with toy soldiers now while I'm alive rather than when I'm worm cake?
And with that, we'll go to a video. This is a brand new live video from Peter Murphy, and it's called Keep Me From Harm. Gosh, the third clip from Spooky, Don't Go Away, or you'll miss videos from Swans and Midnight Oil and XTC also. You know, Andy Partridge, you're almost behaving like a kid in a toy store.
Yes, I'm sorry about the dribble here. I have to stand level, so I drool equally out of both sides. If I lean, it'll...
Symmetrical drooling.
Symmetrical drooling is where it's at.
Andy, you're the face of XTC, as it were, but your songwriting partner in the band is Colin Moulding. How did you split up the songwriting on the latest album, Nonsuch?
Well, I write all the good stuff, and when the biro's nearly empty, I let him have it. So he writes the quality, and I gotta get stuck with the quantity by the looks of things. Damn him, and he's better looking than me, and he's got hair. Don't you just hate that?
Coming up more with Andy Partridge. XTC's 10th album, Nonsuch, features a song called Books Are Burning. Andy Partridge, are you referring perchance to a book such as The Satanic Verses?
This is part of the inspiration for writing the song. Can you still believe in this medieval age we're burning books? I mean, we're not burning books, okay? Blameless on this account. But, you know, you see Muslims in the streets of London burning copies of this. What can you write in a book that can't be allowed? It's, what the hell... Why this ritual murder? Well, in his case, they'd murder him really if they caught him. But books are obviously still getting up people's noses because the Christian right in America are saying, you know, oh, we should be destroying C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia, the kids' book. It's, oh, come on. What? And do you know the reason? It promotes devil worship. Oh, come on. You know, censorship is unknowing. Censorship is you know, denying knowledge and there should be knowledge. There should be get rid of the censorship. Get rid of religion. Religion is backward. If you want to put the world in the dark ages, let's have more fundamentalism.
You might actually make a video for the song Books Are Burning. Are you thinking about that?
I'd love to. And my perfect video for it would just be a list of so-called banned books by whatever you are, Christian fundamentalist, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever, for whatever. Just the whole... I do these great dog impressions. It's in my trousers. Just the whole video. Ingrid, shut up. The whole video would just be a list of banned books. I think that would be perfect.
Right. Okay, well, here's a brand new video from Swans. It's actually probably their most accessible video they've ever made, and it's called Love of Life. We'll be back with more of Andy Partridge from XTC.
I don't know why.
These 120 minutes. I'm Dave Kendall, and my co-host is Andy Partridge from XTC.
Let's get really brain dead. Play something by Roxette.
We'll see if we can arrange that for you, Andy.
Aren't they just great? Don't you just love them?
It's been, what, 5 years since we've heard from the Dukes of Stratosphear, which is a project I believe that you're not totally uninvolved with.
Yeah, my favourite band. Oh, if only we were as good as them. Boy, could they click that wah-wah down.
What was the idea behind the Dukes, and will we ever see them again?
The idea behind the Dukes was they were the band that we all wanted to be in when we were at school. And then you grow up and grow out, and fashions change, and blah, 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 and you don't get to be in that band. And we thought we'd like to go back and repair a piece of history and make the band that we would have all given our right arm to be in. I'd give my right arm to be in Def Leppard. No, but they're the band we all wanted to be in, so we thought we'd repair history and kind of make a good alternate history. But no, you shouldn't be seeing them anymore. We've killed them off horribly in a bizarre cooking accident involving a rusty whisk.
Could this be something to do with the fact that maybe you're happier with what you're doing in XTC than ever before? How do you feel about Nonsuch?
How do I feel about it? I'm immensely proud. Dib, dib, dob, dob. We do our best. I'm immensely proud of it, and if I get hit by the great steamroller of Agamemnon tomorrow and the band falls to pieces, I would be very proud that would be a monument or a kind of, an epitaph to the band. But I have to think that way about every album we make, or else it's not worth doing. If you don't do the best you can do every time, why bother?
Indeed. Well, let's take a look at a video from an earlier XTC album. This is from English Settlement, which came out back in '82, I believe.
Back in '82, after the great punk wars.
This is Senses working overtime.
It's ringing. Stop ringing. There.